Hello friends, so in this video we will see the termination of bailment and finder of lost goods. So termination of bailment. The bailment can be terminated under the following circumstances. Number 1, expiry of the specified period. That means when the goods are bailed for a particular period of time. It may be for day or week or 1 month. As soon as the period is completed, it should be returned to the bailer. That is the expiry of the specified period. Number 2, achievement of the object. Since the goods were bailed for a particular purpose, as soon as the purpose is completed, it should be returned to the bailer. The second one, inconsistent use of goods. Inconsistent use is nothing but unauthorized use by the bailee. When the goods are delivered by the bailer to bailee for a particular purpose, but the bailee used the same for some other purpose, now the bailer can terminate the contract at any time since bailee was using the goods for some other purpose. Death of the bailer or bailee. After the contract of bailment, if the bailer was died or bailee was died, the contract of bailment was terminated. If any charges was pending on part of the bailee, it should be paid by the bailee's legal representative to the bailer. So termination by a bailer in the case of gratuitous bailment. So gratuitous bailment, he can terminate at any time. And the next concept is finder of lost goods. Finder of lost goods. So who is finder of lost goods? When a person finds the goods of some other person, he is known as finder of lost goods. Finder of lost goods was in the position just like as a bailee. That means he has to take reasonable care of the goods and he has to find out the real owner and he has to deliver the same to the real owner. And let's have a look on obligations of finder of lost goods. That means duties of finder of lost goods. Number 1, duty to take reasonable care of the goods and not to mix the goods with his own goods. Finder, when he finds the goods of some other person, he should take the reasonable care of the goods and he was not supposed to mix the same with his own goods. Number 2, he must try to find out the true owner. In all reasonable means or in all reasonable methods, he will try to find out the real owner. If not, he will be liable as trespasser. And if he keeps silent even after finding the goods of some other person, and he is liable as a trespasser and he has to face all the legal consequences. And the third one, not to use the goods for his own purpose. He was not supposed to use the goods for his own purpose. Since the goods were not owned by him, he has to keep the goods separately and he has to find out the real owner. And finally, to return any increase in goods. Generally this was happened only in the case of animals. And if there is any increase, it should be returned to the owner. Rights of finder of goods. So what are the rights of finder of goods? Number 1, right to sue for reward. Right to sue for reward. If the owner has announced any reward for the lost goods, the finder can file a suit against the real owner in order to recover the reward. And meantime, he can retain the goods. He can retain the goods and he can file a suit for reward. The second one, right of lien. If the finder has incurred any reasonable expenses in order to find out the real owner. The reasonable expenses he can recover from the real owner. If the real owner fails to pay the amount, he can retain the goods as long as real owner has not paid the reasonable expenses. But in order to recover of reasonable expenses, finder cannot file a suit against the real owner. He may retain the goods, but he cannot file a suit for expenses. And right of sale. So right of sale. Whether finder can sell the goods? Answer is yes, subject to some conditions. Number 1, when he finds the goods which are perishable in nature, the goods which lost its value in very little time, that means the goods are perishable in nature, he can sell the goods. Number 2, the owner was refused to pay the reasonable expenses incurred by the finder. Now he can sell the goods. Number 3, when the expenses which was incurred by the finder which exceeds 3/4 value of the goods, now he can sell the goods. So this is the case of bailment concept, and in the next video we will see the contract of pledge. See you friends.